Hello everybody, Artifact Talk here, and now I'm talking Fluffals slash Frifers again today. And I'm talking why they need this card right here. You know what this is? This is the best support card that Fluffal has ever gotten in all these years. Frifer Patchwork. This is the Japanese translation, but in case if you guys didn't know what this card did, it's a spell card that allows you to add one polymerization and one agent monster from your deck to your hand. Something Fluffals have needed for quite some time now, considering that they don't have many ways to search out their agent monsters and having to hard draw them out. This is a card that was announced all the way back in, December or January, and we could have gotten this card in Fusion Enforcers, and Fusion Enforcers was the perfect set to release this card in. But Konami, being as dumb as they are, decided not to fucking release the piece of shit. And now Konami is going to be perplexed about when to release this fucking card. More than not likely, it's going to be in 10 celebrating the Arc V series, more than not likely. Some kind of pack that's going to be dedicated towards fusions or something like that, and then they're going to bring Patchwork over here. And until Fluffals get Patchwork, they're not that great. I'm sorry. I'm calling out what I see. And Fluffals serve better as an engine for Heralds and Lightsworns than their own deck, sadly. Abusing Fluffal Wings, Fluffal Dog, Fluffal Owl now, and Fluffal Bears, and the Toy Vendor. And cards like that. That's what you have to abuse. Yeah. This card is still not here. And until this card comes here, I say Fluffals will be looking more like a tier 2.5-ish OTK deck. That's the tier that I have to put them at right now, because sure they can OTK, but with all the hand traps around, cards like Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, even Ghost Reaper or Winter Cherries, if you're high on crack and you decide to side deck Winter Cherries and play Fluffal cards, or if you simply taking away their Mrs. Radiant can really fuck them over these days, because they need to be able to go all out in those extra monster zones. So yeah, Winter Cherries playing Winter Cherries with Mrs. Radiant in your extra deck, it can really hurt a Fluffal player bad, really bad. And it would just suck. Because, embarrassing that Mrs. Radiant, keep in mind that Mrs. Radiant is how the Fluffal players are going to access those access more extra monster zones for their own personal use of what they deem fit. This is why most Fluffal players don't want to max out an Instant Fusion anymore. Because Instant Fusion is a card that will brick you more than help you now. Before, it was a 3-of staple because you're always able to use it at all times. There was never a point in which the card was bad. And as a matter of fact, if you had somewhat of a bad hand back in the day, Insta Ramen, aka Instant Fusion, is the card that was able to get you started. Because you'll be able to get a Frifer Fusion out there, and you could fuse it for Sabertooth with polymerization, and then Sabertooth will just bring back the Frifer Sheep from the graveyard back out to the field, and you'll just be able to continue your plays from there. And you can still kind of technically do that, but that's not the best way to abuse Fluffals anymore. But yeah, it's just sad to see what has happened to this poor deck. Seeing that it has went from being a top 10 rogue deck to becoming an absolute, not a garbage can, but a memory of what it used to be. It went from a top 10 rogue deck that can OTK on a really easy budget to becoming a memory of what it used to be. The fact that you have to link summon while fusion summoning makes it that you have to increase your resource pool much higher. And you know what are the best cards in the game that can take advantage of any deck that has to invest high amounts of resources in order to get return? The hand traps. Hand traps are the best thing to use against Fluffals. Cards like Droll and Lockbird, Ash Blossom, even Ghost Ogre has some impact. Since you'll be able to hit the Frifer Tiger, and they will have to find a way to bring that Fluffle, that Frifer Tiger back out to the field, so they'll be able to fuse for Sabretooth. Even Ghost Ogre can fuck up Fluffles really bad. Cards like Solemn Strike just hurt them that much more. Literally, it's a Mrs. Radiant deck. You take away their Mrs. Radiance from them, it's really horrible. It's like I've said in my last video of Fluffle meta-analysis. True King Dinos fuck over Fluffles bad because of Lithosism, the disaster. He's the main reason that they can fuck up Fluffles so easily, because he can take away some of their main cards in the extra deck, being Mrs. Radiant, since most people only play one of it. Nobody plays two of that shit. People are like, oh, you play one of it, so you can get your freaking... Yeah, you freaking... And Brilliant Fluffles are even weaker against True King Dinos, because you only play one freaking... What was her name? Was it Garnet? I forgot the name of the fusion. I know, it's embarrassing. Whoever the fusion is, I'll be right back. I gotta look up the name of this shit. Okay, I have redeemed my honor. I just remembered what the card's name was. You know Gemini Seraphinite? That fusion that gives you an extra normal summon? If you use True King Lithosism the Disaster, you can rip away that shit from the extra deck. You can rip away Seraphinite from the extra deck. Do you know what that means? Drumroll, please. Your Brilliant Fusions become entirely pointless. They're going to end up bricks in your deck. That's what that means, good sir. Your Brilliant Fusions will be nothing more than dead draws, and you must avoid drawing them at all costs, since you have no way to recover cards that get banished. At all. And it's... Oh my god, it's so horrible what this deck has to go through now. Like at least Cyber Dragons have a monster that can negate. At least Cyber Dragons can end off on a couple of negates, or not really a couple anymore, more like one negate or something like that. Look at Yugi Nono's Cyber Dragon deck profiles, the most recent ones to be the exact. But the Cyber Dragons, or I say, compare Cyber Dragons to Fluffles, I have to go with Cyber Dragons for now, until Patchwork comes out. Because this deck needs Patchwork. That's just how it works. And until this deck gets Patchwork, it's gonna be stuck luck sacking in order to draw their fucking Edgit monsters that they need for their proper fusion summon. They're gonna get stuck hard drawing those cards until then. And I say even with Patchwork, this deck is still gonna be a tier 2.5 deck. I say tier 2.5-ish without Patchwork because it's on the borderline of being tier 3 to no tier Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally. It's on the borderline of tier 3. When it was a tier 1.5 deck in my eyes back in Cosmo and Monarch format, where the only deck that was able to really put this shit down was Monarchs, what used to be the best deck. How ironic that it's a tribute summon based deck that happens to be the best deck for August. Because Monarchs were the best deck back then, and now True Draco is the best deck for this time of the year. It's just ironic that it's like that, but it's cool. So yeah. So basically, conclude this video. This deck is on the borderline of tier 3 until it gets Fight for Patchwork. And even when it gets Fight for Patchwork, it's going to be a tier 2.5 at best deck because of link summoning. You have to link summon while you're doing your fusion summoning. Fluffals are a cool design, have a cool design. Definitely a cooler design than Zoo, I might have had. But they just don't have what it takes to take out True King Dinos and True Draco right now. When this format ends, we'll see what Fluffals can do. And I'll be following up on them. But I hope you guys enjoyed my discussion video about Fluffals and Frifers. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Fluffals Stuffing Incorporated. This was a shout out to you, man. Team War Talk, signing out. Peace.